So let's not even leave that aside, because I do want to talk about one thing now that I have a lawyer on the show with me. So, one of the things that I've been talking about a lot recently is, unlike other political strategists where different how my day-to-day job is as a branding and marketing guy, right? And I'm very aware in branding marketing what I can and cannot do in terms of advertising, right? There's Canadian advertising law, there's the Federal Competitive Competition Act that prevents me from saying and doing certain things. I can't mislead consumers, I can't do false testimonials, I can't do bait and switch tactics. There's civil and criminal law that prevents me from doing these things, right? And there's ramifications, and if it's a criminal, if I knowingly did it, it's like I could face criminal charges, I could go to jail and face heavy fines, right? So, we have continually seen, whether they're on the campaign trail or they're elected officials in this country, in the US, all over the world, politicians and those seeking office, we've continually seen them make promises on camera, in writing, signing documents on camera, promising that they're not going to do something or they are going to do something. How are they able to get away with this? As a lawyer, I want your opinion on this. How are they able to get away with this? Why does this not either fall under federal competition, under the Federal Competition Act, or why isn't there other legislation? All the legislation, when I was researching this, all the legislation is designed to protect them, to protect candidates and parties from us citizens unfairly smearing them. That's what all the laws are designed to do, right? That we can't and other parties can't unfairly smear them. There's no laws protecting us, voters, from their promises, their misleading tactics, whether it's like a major initiatives like going to war, getting support for that by saying there's WMDs, right? Or promising electoral reform, right, to get votes because you know that's in the polling showed as something that's important to Canadians, and then going back on it as soon as you're elected. The list goes on and on. I'm going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. Actually, I didn't say that Mexico was going to pay for it. The list goes on and on where we don't hold and we have no mechanism to hold these elected officials accountable for promises that they make. And they, and I could make an argument on some of these, this misleading promises that they've made. They did them intentionally, right? And I could also make an argument that they are bait and switch tactics.
Yeah, I think, Najib, I've got to commend you on bringing this conversation forward because it is extremely important when it comes to the state of our democracy and how we are able to make decisions. Because, like you said, with the rise of potential misinformation, but it's politicians themselves who are
making the laws. They make the laws, yeah.
Right, and so you obviously have elections advertising rules, but those are more so much more mundane, dealing with what is considered election advertising, when you can do it, the time that you can do it, whether you have to declare yourself as being an advertiser or not. Those don't get to the heart of this issue, and I think I would love to see if somebody was to bring this forward, the defense that politicians would put forward. That it was never their intention for anybody to rely on those statements, right? That nobody's actually, I would imagine that this is how some politicians would justify it, which is, nobody actually was believing us. There was no actual intended reliance on my false statements because everybody knows politicians exaggerate. But you're right. You see the proliferation of. Again, and this is the one that really gets me is just as, and you've touched on it, which is the signing of these guarantees and these commitments. It is extremely powerful, and people are relying on it, which is where
because there are people are just like in any other cases. Well, if he's on camera and he's signing this thing, you couldn't do that. You can't do that. Obviously, he's serious about